Gary, some fantastic numbers for a lot of people trading off the back of this. Are we starting to see the tax bill effect, or is it still too premature to say that?
You know, Jonathan, look, I think it's a little premature to say that the tax effects are filtering through. You know, we signed the tax bill 5.5 weeks ago, and look, this is January data. We're not going to really see the real tax effects until the sort of end of the first quarter. That said, we got very good news today, and as you were just saying, you know, these are wage numbers. These don't really incorporate the bonuses and all of the tax incentives that people are delivering to their employees.
Gary, do you see the 2.9% wage growth number as sustainable?
Look, that's the great question. We're very excited to see the 2.9% wage growth number. It's what we've been talking about with you for the last year. It was really the impetus for our tax plan was to create real sustainable wage growth. It's something that's been missing for this country for a long period of time. We're excited to see it this month. We do hope it is sustainable. We don't want to say, hey, after 1 month of January, we've done it. It's successful. We hope that this is the start of something new and something real and something good. We'll need a couple months to reaffirm that we really are starting to see wage growth in the United States here.
Gary, we had a question from a Bloomberg viewer, and I want to present it to you, and it's on manufacturing jobs. Manufacturing jobs are really picking up in the United States. It's been a bright spot for this administration, but I'm wondering how much of that is about a weaker dollar versus, say, government policy?
Look, I think it's about the Trump administration policy. If you look at what's happened over the Trump administration, we really have created over 200,000 manufacturing jobs versus what happened the year prior where they lost manufacturing jobs. This is real optimism in the manufacturing community that A, we will deregulate the markets or regulate them smartly so manufacturers can compete. B, we will have a tax policy that makes sense, and we'll have an export market as well as a domestic market that will consume. So I do think it is a vote of confidence on what the Trump economic agenda is.
A lot of people, though, Gary, would say it also corresponds with one of the worst years for the U.S. dollar in a decade. There's some immense confusion over the last couple of weeks around White House policy with the FX market. Can you clean that up for me, Gary, today?
Look, I don't think there's anything to clean up. I think, you know, a strong dollar is always in the best interest of America. And I think we've been consistent on that.
Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin has not been consistent on that, Gary. He talked about a weak dollar helping out the trade situation over in Davos, Switzerland. It's a stretch to say the White House has been consistent here, isn't it?
I think we've been consistent that a strong dollar is always in the best interest of America.
Do you think that's important for foreign investors to hear at this point? Because treasuries are starting to reprice, Gary, off the back of a weaker dollar, yields up. There'll be a lot of foreign investors that want to see a stable currency. Are you mindful of what's happening in the Treasury market at the moment?
Oh, we're very mindful. Look, we're very mindful of what's going on in all markets all the time. That it's our job to be understanding what's going on in the market, what's driving markets. And not only is it my job, the president is very concerned what's going on at all times.
Is he concerned about the Treasury market right now?
He's not concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, but we're watching it.
Are you worried, Gary, that you might see the repricing in treasuries eat into the economic positives that you could get from the tax bill?
I'm sorry, I missed that question.
Don't worry, Gary, I'll repeat it for you. I know you're having some technical difficulties down there in front of the White House. Are you seeing, or at least worried, that this backup in Treasury yields could eat into the economic benefits that you could get from the tax bill?
Look, we've had a mild backup in Treasury yields, but look at what's going on in the economy. Look at what's going on in growth. Look at what's going on in corporate earnings. That's what's driving the economy. We're putting more disposable income in people's hands. Like I said, it's 1 month, but you also have to understand what's going on in the 350 companies that have given out bonuses. We're putting more disposable income into the system. The economy is solid. I mean, look, we've seen the Atlanta Fed's forecast for the first quarter GDP. I don't know if we'll be anywhere near that, but all indications look very strong right now to what's going on in the economy. Look, yields are backing up a little bit, and that's a natural course of markets and markets looking for a level of equilibrium, but we're pretty happy with where things are in the economy right now.
Well, Gary, I think the Treasury market's repricing on a lot of things, and you know this better than most in the administration. Inflation expectations being one, but the Treasury came out with a refunding agenda for the next couple of quarters or the next couple of months, and the view for the year is that you're going to have to issue more treasuries because of the tax bill. We're now moving on to a conversation about infrastructure. How are you going to fund a $1.5 trillion infrastructure bill? Because in the minds of a lot of people, the money's already spent.
Look, I'm not going to release the infrastructure plan right now, but we have a very robust plan. We've spent an enormous amount of time with Democrats and Republicans talking about our infrastructure plan. We have money in the budget. We've worked with OMB Director Mulvaney on getting money in the budget, and we've got a plan that we're very confident that will work. The president's going to announce it over the course of February, and you'll see what our plan is to get our infrastructure built. We do think infrastructure is very important for the U.S. economy. It will create jobs. It will create wages.
Well, let's get some details at least, Gary. That's the point of this interview when you come on, is to give me some colour. So will the federal gas tax be increased to pay for some of this? Is that something you'd support?
Here, I'll give you color. We've got three key principles. Principle number one is we're going to invest $1.5 trillion. Principle number two is the approval process is probably the most important aspect of our infrastructure plan. We have to shorten the approval process down from 7 to 10 years to under 2 years, and the president would like to get it shorter than that. And number three is we have to take care of rural communities.
OK, then give me something else. Can you get it passed before the midterms?
We think we have a good opportunity to get it passed before the midterms. As I said, we've been meeting with Republicans. We've been meeting with Democrats. It's got to be a bipartisan plan. We've been meeting with the various committees, and we have momentum on infrastructure right now. Everyone is excited about infrastructure. We know how important it is. It is a bipartisan issue. Look, it affects every American citizen. It polls at 84% positive. People want new and improved infrastructure in the United States.
Everyone's excited except for the Treasury bulls, Gary, but we've talked about that already. The final question for you, the Fed Vice Chair. Last time we spoke, you said we might get it before the end of January. Can I expect to wake up Monday morning and find out who the nominee is from your administration for the Fed Vice Chair?
You might. You never know. You never know.
Come on, Gary. When are we expecting to get that announcement? Have you guys made a decision?
Oh, look, we're working on it. It's the president's decision. The president will make his decision, and he'll announce it when he's ready to.
A matter of days or weeks?
You know, there's days and weeks. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate.